Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Dolupo, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very interesting one, as we're going to be talking about quite a number of things today. You know, as usual, it is just gist, but doesn't look like controversies are going anywhere anytime soon. And today's on, maybe it's a little different, or some of the updates of things that have been happening. But also, there are quite a number of new gists that we're going to be talking about today. This time looks like it's the turn of the church. The church responded to another church and all that. We're going to be talking about that today. Also, Charly Boy and the issue of bus stop change of name and all that. It doesn't look like it's getting anywhere anytime soon, because the man doesn't seem to want to let it go, even though he's saying something different. I think his actions are saying something else different. But you know what? We're definitely going to throw it out to hear what you have to say about it, or what you think. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just looking at it differently. But we're going to be talking about that and discussing quite a number of things at the bar today. Like I said, a little bit of updates on the airport issues from Kwam 1 to the lady at the Ibom Air issues. We're going to be talking about that a lot today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Like I said, a lot of controversies. There's also another issue with Ambassadorship Library and the EFCC there in the news as well. The Federal Executive Council and tertiary institutions, that is also another very interesting thing we're going to be talking about. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with me. But I'm not here alone. I'm here with Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's go.
Okay, so straight up to gist today. But I think that before we even go on with a bit of a lot of controversial gist, something happened, or a news broke yesterday evening that I felt that is worthy to talk about. And it's the issue of institutions in Nigeria. And it started when this news broke yesterday evening, saying that the Federal Executive Council has officially put a 7-year ban on establishment of new federal tertiary institutions across the country. This was announced by the Minister of Education yesterday after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting. In the same vein, he had said that they had approved 9 new private universities. I think that there's a bit of conversation there. But first things first. So according to him, he said that there are a lot of tertiary institutions that do not house a lot of students, but it's still, so why start or begin, or what's the word now? Why establish new ones if the ones we have on ground are not completely filled? Like he said there's a tertiary institution that there are about 800 students and there are about 1,200 staff. So now, for the reasons like that instead of establishing new ones, the funds they have, they're going to use it to ply into the existing ones so that those ones would accommodate more people, if possible.
Exactly. The funny thing is that journalism is interesting, and some people are reporting this thing as a ban. Federal government bans federal universities. Did you see it there? Federal government, federal university. Now, the first thing is that they own the schools that are in existence.
Pretty much.
They plan to create new or old ones, as the case may be. But as soon as this government came in the space of 2 years plus, they've actually created more universities in such a short time than virtually any other. You can check the stats. Mm-hmm. And now there's a freeze on that so that they can consolidate on what they have. I don't see a problem. I don't even know why it's up for discussion. You understand? Because the schools have to be funded. Lecturers will be, appointed. Students will go there. But look at the extreme case of a school that has only 800 students and they have more lecturers. It's like when Nigerian sports teams in the past were going to the Olympics, they will have like 40 athletes and 250 officials. Do you understand? So I really don't see a problem there. I don't see why it's even up for discussion. The owner of the school says, I'm not creating more schools for the next 5 or 7 years. Any big deal?
It makes sense to an extent, because some other people would also say, oh, yeah, that these universities, but there are a lot of people that are still looking for admission. So would we say the conversation is that maybe the students are not passing enough to get into these universities?
No, they have created enough at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not about...
And again, the new schools...
There are no schools to go into. Is the fact that if you passed enough to get into those schools, is that what we're looking at now?
It's a whole lot of things. The first thing there is that there are options. You have the option of going to the state-owned universities. You have the option of going to the privately owned universities, and of course the bone of contention now, the federal universities. And the numbers have increased, and they're saying now we're putting a cap on it so that we can consolidate and build the ones that we have and upgrade. If you go and check our schools, there's a lot of work to be done, a lot. So rather than just keep building new universities, fix the ones that you have. Now, the new schools that they have created in the last 2 years, and even the ones that Buhari created and all, it takes a while for them to really become fully fledged
for them
universities.
to be running.
Before they put infrastructure on ground, before the Universities Commission comes to actually, vet them and allow them to issue certificates.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't just continue perpetually saying you're building and building and building if the ones you have are not even in a good state, So currently, I think I'm all for the idea of putting a freeze on the creation of new universities. It's not a permanent freeze. It's a temporary one. And again, the beauty of these things is that if there's a need to go back or rescind, it's not going to cost anything at all. Nigeria, yes, indeed, has a lot of people who need to be in school. But there's a fact that I was glossing over. I didn't want to delve into it. The fact also is there that statistically, a lot of our students are not doing as well as they used to in trying to gain admission into the tertiary institutions. It's historic, but it doesn't make it right that the cutoff points are always below pass mark.
I remember that this is one of the conversations that we're having when we're talking about it. Even though these cutoff marks are there, sadly, or would I say, unfortunately for some students, those low cutoff marks that JAM has announced would not get you mostly, especially into federal universities. They would not admit you. And
it wouldn't even get you into some of the professional courses or some of the, the top or in-demand courses that people want to go for.
It wouldn't even get you into the school. Let's call it.
Sure you get.
See, I don't know about all of them, but I know for a fact that there are a few schools, especially the ones in the southwest, if you don't even have 200, you can't even buy the form for post-UME. So what are we talking about? So now, when you hear people that have over 300 are not even getting the desired course they want. So what do you want to do with your 160 or 180?
What exactly are we talking about?
So let's not deceive ourselves. Especially maybe if you don't have funds for private unis, or maybe you don't want to go to polytechnics. Shout out to polytechnics, but or college of education. If you have aspirations to go to any of these federal universities, do not deceive yourself. Those cutoff marks are just for paper. Do not deceive yourself. Whatever cutoff mark JAB or the federal government or the Ministry of Education proposes or announces each year do not apply to those schools. It's just an advice. I'm just saying just in case. Anyway, in the same vein, they have now approved new private universities. I also really do think that should also be a ban on private universities. Or creation of new private universities. And I think it's the same thing. I think that there are a lot, because we see it in like secondary schools, primary schools. Even in the universities now, there are a lot of mushroom schools, all in the name of private universities. We should have a standard. And I personally don't think a lot of schools are meeting that standard.
Okay, I don't agree with a freeze or a ban on the creation of more private universities, because it's public. I mean, it's a free enterprise. It's people investing their own funds and their time into it. The problem is not in the people who are cutting corners. It's in the people who are giving them the license. You cannot operate a private university without a license. And you cannot get a license until you meet the basic requirements. So what Dolupo is pointing out is she's sure that a lot of these schools do not meet standards. So and you should be pointing out is in the direction of the regulatory bodies. You know, whose job is it to ensure that any uni that is coming on stream meets the basic requirements. You know, I remember when they became a thing in Nigeria. I'd gone with a friend to take his younger brother to one, and I was actually impressed, you know, and that was many years ago. So if they have dropped the ball and dropped the standards from that time, whose fault is it? You understand? But I won't put a freeze. Look, for instance, you put the way some schools are not up to scratch is the way some schools are like world class in this country.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow, is this a school in Nigeria? They say, yeah, it is. So that might be throwing out the baby with the bath water.
Anyway, we'll see. We definitely will see what that conversation, where all that conversation is going to. Okay. Adejarabi has a comment. It says, other countries are increasing their standards while Nigeria keeps going the opposite direction. Below 80 is failing grade in most schools where I live in the West. I agree with you, sir.
100.
And
100%.
And you know, this is what I'm saying. You know, the funny thing is, what I'm saying is, as much as, yes, there's an announcement, and you would even get into maybe a college of education or some polytechnics, or even maybe some private unis that these days you never can see. That's what I was saying, that do not be deceived and think that you will get into a federal university with your low scores. It will not work. You are only going to be disappointed over and over and over again. We need to have that conversation. You can't tell me that you are smart and you deserve to be in a university if there's an exam that takes you into the university and you can't even get 50%. Because the sad part is, by the time you get into uni, people don't get it. There are some courses that you need 80 to get an A. You can't even get, if you don't get 50, 60, you're not going anywhere. So if it takes you 160, 150 to get into the uni, I think it's going to be a very rude shock when you now get into uni and then you see that you cannot pass. It doesn't make any sense.
But again, we have also experienced the end product of some of these universities, be it federal or private.
Yeah.
We have also experienced it. We've met with them. We've had to work with a couple. We've had to interview some. And the real issue for me is in the quality of the education.
Yeah.
You see, the average Nigerian kid, I think, is intelligent. It's smart, book smart. You get, like,
These days,
the average.
Even average.
Okay, well, you know, your facts are yours and my opinions are mine. So yeah, so I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the average Nigerian kid, you know, based on what I used to know and what I think I know, they're not that bad academically. However, we have not helped them. They are not getting any better. They are not excelling like they used to. And I remember when a couple of years ago when we were in school and the people who were in the science class were finally allowed to use calculators. They call them scientific calculators. Yeah. We used to marvel like, oh yeah, man, you guys have computer, you know, you're using a calculator, you know. And my friend, we had a friend that left school around that time. He left secondary school to go start high school in America. Mm-hmm. His parents had relocated that time, way back when. And when he finally came after like 2 years, he was telling us how, you know, he was like the best in his class. And I'm like, you care, you bet. He said, yeah. So I looked at the adversity that we had to go through. The things that we went through actually made us stronger.
Yes, it did. I think it did.
So
I
that's
agree.
my premise. That's where I'm coming from. But I'm also saying that we have also dropped the ball. You see, the same generation that went through that is now in charge of things, has dropped the ball. Parents are helping their children cheat to gain admission into uni.
Oh yeah.
Schools are deliberately passing these people so that they will have a high pass rate from secondary to university.
From primary
it's
school,
happening,
so that it doesn't look like
if a child comes to this school, is going to excel.
Remember, we're having that conversation, and I said that I was having a conversation with my younger brother, and I said that it's funny when I heard experiences from other schools. I actually felt like I went to a federal government school, even though I went to a private secondary school, because the standard that was given was that you're not messing up. Like I say that it was very funny how it was a thing that people repeated, but it was not a thing with regular private secondary schools. People repeated, and then that same person that could not keep up will now be admitted to the next class in another school. And you're wondering, like, and I remember in SS2, because when you get to SS2, in my school then, you had to do mock exams, which was like, they would treat it like you were doing WAEC, yeah? You were getting ready for WAEC. And our scores were not so great, the whole set. And I remember we were now mandated to have summer school. They had summer school. We had the whole of SS3 we had Monday to Sunday classes. Why are you like, no, you're not going to do this. There was no, we're going to try to help. The only way they were trying to help us was that this book, you will know it by force. And you don't see a lot of those things. You hear how schools are helping their children pass. They get some funny invigilators so that they can. And I'm like, how?
Of course, the miracle centers and the special centers still exist to a large extent. Now, the so-called tutorial centers are actually not even teaching your children how to read and write they are just helping them pass exams, and they are two different things. So this problem, beyond federal government freezing the creation of schools
we need to look at our standards.
It's more about the system itself and the people, from the parents to the students to the schools. And we have a big problem. You're rushing your kids through nursery school. They can't even sit down. You're already in nursery 2. They can't they can't walk properly. They're in secondary school.
Child in SS2, SS3, the child is not passing. His brain is not even developed enough to
And the problem is that we're also not looking at the future. A lot of these courses, the way the world is going now, we need to start formulating policies that will push our kids in the right direction.
Yeah.
A lot of these courses might become irrelevant in the nearest future.
Very, 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 very. I agree with you.
I was talking to someone who works in the medical field in America, and they're talking about an entire unit that they had to prune down the staff there because now they have some equipment that makes the work easier and faster.
Makes it easier, so there's no point.
So please, I'm begging you guys, parents especially, stop cheating for your children, all in the name of trying to help them get ahead. Maybe they did it too. So
how do you sleep
won't
at
even
night?
Think twice about it.
It actually really bugs me. I remember, I think I was in GSS2 when was it GSS2? Yes, I was in GSS2. When apparently something led to something, and it was alleged that some of us chased a maths teacher out of class. Alleged.
They are not ready to speak the truth.
Anyway, so I was part of people that was, oh God, I was beaten a lot. Now that I remember, like, I was really punished a lot for it.
I wish I was there.
Like I said, alleged, because that allegation, it was not completely true how that happened. But the maths teacher just walked away. But the teacher decided to have his own turn of events, or say his own side, without us explaining what happened. And of course, his own side was believed. Anyway, before I move on, Adejarabi says, I have a niece that just got admitted in secondary school in Nigeria. She left primary school from primary 3. We were forced to fit it primary.
Okay. Now that's the highest one I've heard.
Primary 3. Like, what the hell?
Primary 3.
What are we doing?
1, 2, 3.
What are we doing?
What does a primary 3 child know
about getting in secondary? So, another thing is,
I'm not
other
saying
than academics,
this child might be sound though academically.
Other than academics.
But what about maturity?
Yeah. And tell me, explain
what
to me
about
how
resilience?
This child is not going to be bullied.
Tell me how. Look, the funny thing is, I remember when I got to uni, and I was one of the youngest people in my class in university.
Yeah.
I was one of the youngest. It was strange.
Yeah.
In fact, we had to, if there was WhatsApp, then we would have been in the same WhatsApp group. But we kind of gravitated towards each other.
Yeah.
Because
in uni, you see a lot of old people.
No, they will not fail to rub it in. They will tell you.
Yes.
Because when you start talking and you're like, I left university last year, I left secondary school last year.
It was a flex to be younger in primary, secondary school. It's actually something.
You're thinking, you're talking, and the guy goes, that he wrote jam 5 times. That I shouldn't be in the same class with you.
Or you hear someone that has maybe gone to OM or done OAD, done HND.
Why do you send a baby to secondary school?
Secondary school, yeah.
Why do you do that?
So interestingly, I remember really getting beaten. Yeah, I got beaten a lot. So, but the only thing that pushed me through that day, unfortunately for me, I went to a secondary school that closes at 5 p.m. So imagine the kind of punishment I had. Mm-hmm. And this happened maybe like 1 p.m. So I had
God bless your teachers,
full day
man.
of punishment.
At least they helped you get a little bit.
And then I get home, I'm like, I'm going to go and report to my mother. And then blah, 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 blah. And then next thing my mother says is, if you didn't do anything, they wouldn't have beaten you. I was shocked to my bone marrow. I said, wait. I have beaten so much. Is it this child abuse?
So here we are. I get what Dolupo is pointing.
I think that a lot of parents need to.
The truth is, you are the problem. We know that government and policymakers are failing too. You get, and there seems to be a new reawakening, but we're not there yet. But parents, you are the problem.
They're dropping the ball.
How do you send, just like our brother said now, a 3-year-old?
No, 3-year-old. Primary 3.
Sorry, Joe. Thanks for the correction. Why is a child that should be in primary 4?
That child is maybe between 7 and 8. What are we doing now? What are we doing?
Why are we in a hurry?
Like, what are we doing?
Why are you trying to live that genius lifestyle?
It's not making any sense.
Through your child.
It's not making any sense.
You know, the other day there was controversy about a child that went to, I think it's Queen's College, Yaba. Queen's College, Lagos, and she had makeup on and wig and stuff.
What are we doing?
A secondary school kid, and the teacher stopped her, tried to correct her, and of course the teacher was the bad guy.
And I will remember.
And what I saw was a parent trying to live our own life.
How is it okay to go to school with? Anyway,
you are the problem.
Well, parents need to we need a new reawakening. Anyway, the president is set to depart Abuja, I think today, to Japan and Brazil. I think there's a 12-day visit or something that he's going. However, one of opposition leaders, Labour Party's former presidential candidate, has now said that
he said you're not a tourist.
Yeah, his priorities.
That Nigeria bleeds, so that the president should not travel. Please, before we hold on that, let's hold on that. Adejarabi says, I also approved her for common entrance. I was told she was admitted to a private school. Okay, it's always the private school.
It's always a private school. It's always a private school. And the sad part is, like I said, it's actually funny when I hear some of these things, because I went to a private secondary school and you had to be 10 to even take an exam.
I was at God forgive me. I was at a private school's prize giving event a few weeks ago, their end of year prize giving event, and there was this little boy who was in, they call it grade 5, that's primary 5, during our own time, that actually just started crying on the stage. I think he was performing with the orchestra. And, and he's a boy that I know. So I walked up, what's wrong with you? That he's not happy. He hasn't won any award. He wanted to make his parents proud and everything. Now, I know a girl who was in his class who had done way better than him, won a whole lot of awards. That girl is going to be in primary 6. This boy that is crying, that is not happy that he didn't win any award, is going to secondary school. He's going to secondary school. The one that was best in the class is going to primary 6. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Let's be deceiving ourselves. Anyway, so back to the gist. Peter Obi says that the president is not a tourist and the country is bleeding too much for him to be junketing around.
Yeah, so the thing about opposition politics is that you're basically supposed to make the government look bad.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And you can't fault Peter Obi. This is his job. This is the job that he has chosen to do.
Yeah.
The idea is that he's going to capitalize on everything that seemingly looks bad. Even if it doesn't, it's going to make it look bad. And he has to do a good job of it. And he also has to keep his fan base happy so that people will know that our man is on top of his job. Now, if you watch the Boomba a lot, you know that we poke fun at the president as Ajala, that he travels. But the truth is, that's how we poked fun at Buhari. And guess what? Even before we started the Boomba, the other platform that we were on, we had poked fun at Obasanjo and the rest of them. And the reality is that there's one game you can play called opposition. But there's also the reality that presidents have to travel. They have to network. They have to go. The same way they go, people come to their countries. People come there, Now, this is a state visit to Brazil. The other one is an investment platform for Africa in Japan. What usually happens, and, because this is me letting go of the ability to, my choice of yapping or poking fun at the president, but being real now, is that on the sidelines of these meetings, there are business meetings going on.
Yeah.
Deals are being struck. Now, this Brazil that is going, guess what? What Brazil is doing with Nigeria and for Nigeria is immense. In our livestock ministry, we have a livestock ministry now. In transportation and one or two other subsectors of Nigeria's economy, the Brazilians are coming in mass like, you know what? Let's do business. I'm not even going to go to the angle where we are kindred spirits and related by blood to a lot of the people there, saying that slave trade took our forebears there too. I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm talking about business. So not every time should you just point at everything as bad, because the truth, we see the results. So the Dubai people that they went to all the time, they are here now. And they're talking and stuff is happening. India still, they had this steel conference 2 days ago. The vice president chaired that one. So things are actually beginning to happen. Statistically, do you know that this is the highest FDI Nigeria has had in like a decade? So what does that tell you? That these trips are paying off. Don't take my word for it. Or just Google FDI into Nigeria or Google Nigeria FDI statistics and you will see it there. So again, I like facts. You don't have to criticize every time. At times, keep quiet.
Okay, anyway, let's move on from that quickly. And just want to put it out there, the House of Reps is set to probe a 1.06 trillion naira NG Cares program, saying that the impact is poor.
Look, I kind of agree with them.
Yeah, if they've done the homework and they see that, okay, after all this money spent, the impact has really not been felt, it makes a lot of sense.
So there's a register, that was done in conjunction with, some foreign bodies and all of that. And it's been upgraded in recent times.
Yeah.
And some of these interventions actually go directly to the account of the recipients.
People, yeah.
But maybe we are middle class. I know that I'm not upper class. I wish I was. But there needs to be more impact on these interventions so that people who really need it the most are getting it.
Because the truth is that once monies have been allocated, the money is there.
Get it.
Yeah, so maybe it needs to be. They really, and it's part of their
my friend
oversight function. So
my friend Agba Jalingo is an activist and all of that. Is working on an intervention for a senator from his own Akwa Ibom now.
Mm-hmm.
It's Akwa Ibom or Cross Rivers. I think it's Cross Rivers. It's Cross Rivers. Sorry, Agba. So one of the senators is going to be doling out money to people, and they're doing it electronically. They're doing it randomly, and the senator has hands off. So they are giving. It's not about give it to the people in my party. It's actually about the people from that senatorial district.
Area.
And I look at the system that they have deployed, and I see it's
like
going
it
to
sense.
work. And when people are coming to lobby, they tell them, if you lobby, your name will be removed. So don't even come here. We don't know you. We don't care. We just want this thing to go out. That's the approach that we need. We need to deploy technology. They are using technology to randomize who gets these things and to screen, because you must be from that senatorial district. So these are the things that we're talking about. We want interventions to be directly impactful in the lives of the people that it was meant for.
Okay, so now let's move on quickly from that. And there are quite a number of things we're going to talk about today.
Let's go there.
I think we should switch it up a bit and go to a bit of controversies, which it's kind of getting interesting too, First one is Pastor Fatoyinbo, Biodun Fatoyinbo. If you don't know Pastor Fatoyinbo, is supposed to be the lead pastor of Koza Church. I think their head church. Sorry, I wanted to say head office. Their HQ is in Abuja, if I'm correct. And the man has had a few controversies here and there.
He's had his own fair share
of
controversies.
It's funny, I would say that he's more popular for his controversies than the church. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Anyway, he decided, I don't know when exactly, he decided to be preaching, and he decided to drag the head of the CAC, the late Joseph Ayo Babalola, into his speech. Oh, sorry, why am I saying that? Trust me, this was not into his sermon. Sermon, not speech, sermon, sorry. And it was said that he had said that Joseph Ayo Babalola was really, really was a very anointed man of God. And I tried tracking the video, and I saw snippets of the video where he said, but he's a very anointed man of God, but, did hand like this. And you wonder, like, okay, how did we
He did his hand like how?
Like this, like
money.
Like he didn't have money. And I'm like, okay, that's where we are. That's the point that we are. Which was very interesting to me. I will not lie to you. I felt that it was a very interesting thing that he said. Now, it would not. I'm not sure that it would have had so much of an impact if now the CAC church itself have not replied him. Now they had a very detailed reply for this pastor, and very interesting. In fact, there's a particular part of that speech that interests me. They made a very interesting conversation.
Okay.
He had talked about, in fact, he went ahead to say that, where are his children? One of his children have come out to say that, she's doing really well for herself, and basically said what she said. But one of the major things that they had said there was basically pointing out that his teaching is misleading. And now, which is what I think a lot of people have with a lot of, especially Pentecostal churches in Nigeria. Why does everything have to boil down to money? Is money good? Oh, yes. But why in my head, I'm like, how did we get to a point where you had to drag Joseph Ayo Babalala? And according to the statement of the CAC, they went even ahead to say that what he said was both insensitive and ill-informed. They were going on about how he really wasn't actually poor. He donated things to as much as land and all that. The man was doing well for himself, but that I was ill-informed. But also, his teachings are actually wrong. Was this a very necessary conversation at all in the first place?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to butt in. So, until Biodun Fatoyinbo is able to achieve a fraction of what Joseph Ayo Babalala achieved as a preacher, as a man of God, I think he should shut up.
Okay.
Yeah. For a man that started his ministry in 1928 or thereabout, where were you, Biodun? Were you around then? Or your parents? I don't think so. So, this is it. Too many Nigerian pastors are self-appointed pastors. My concept of Christianity is that you must get a call. That God must actually call you. And if God calls you, He qualifies you. He empowers you. Why do you think that the yardstick for measuring success is financial? And what makes you think that the man was look, do you know there's a university that is Joseph Ayo Babalala University, Jabu? Let's get a Fatoyinbo University, then let's start talking about it. But you see, I think it's even wrong to look at material things. The job of a Christian is to run a good race and make it to heaven. And I don't think money making will take you to heaven. Now, it doesn't mean you should not make money if you are so inclined. But too many Nigerian there's a pastor that is selling soap, is selling water from Jerusalem, is selling perfume, is selling stones. How many of these things are in the Bible? There's the other one that was talking about how a few of them came together to contribute money to buy a Rolls Royce for another man of God.
Oh, he was one of the people that...
I'm not even bothered. I'm just saying that there's a group of people that were actually making noise about how they bought a vehicle for a man of God. What would Jesus do? The one you claim.
I don't even know how we got to that point.
The one you claim to serve.
How did we get
Jesus,
to this point?
The Son of God, the one that created the whole world, when he wanted to pay his taxes, taxes. Oh, you don't pay taxes, Abi. Oh, that's why. That's one of the reasons why.
I'm like,
so Jesus, when Jesus was going to pay his taxes, he sent someone somewhere to go. That means that he didn't have the money on him. The Son of God, though. But you are now talking about money as a yardstick and a parameter. For what? Holiness? To make heaven?
For anointing. To show that you are anointed.
You are not. Because that money you have, Yahoo boys have it. Kidnappers have it. Bankers have it. Yeah. So what stands you aside from them?
So Adejarabi says...
What?
Fatoyinbo needs to read about the big 7 apostles in Nigeria in the early 20s. They had Elijah and Elisha-like powers. I saw a documentary about it and was blown away.
Yeah.
Now, low current with they compared to them. He said Moses Orimolade was even a junior to the big 7. And you know, like what you said, I remember when we were having this discussion before we came online, and I said that even the older pastors of now that we have, the likes of Baba Adeboye, the likes of Baba Kumuyi, the likes of Bishop Oyedeko, you might not like them. But how come they've been so long in this faith? You don't hear, they don't preach this kind of preachings. You don't hear, oh, there's a controversy that somebody is lying, that somebody raped somebody. or somebody, a pastor.
No allegations,
no
none.
allegations, nothing.
No scandals.
They've been there 40, 50, 70 years.
Just like Adejare B said, he talked about the level of power that they had.
The level of power they had. Do you understand? Those old men that are late now, the ones that are even there that are really old.
But now,
so how come
it's about
the
materialistic
younger ones
tendencies. It's about, I bought a Rolls Royce for someone.
Do you understand? I remember when this story of Rolls Royce came up, and I remember that they now brought out an old video of Babadeboye saying that about 20 years before, a Rolls Royce was bought for him then. Nobody heard about it. And he said when he needed money for the church, that was the first thing that was put up. Let's sell this thing. So I'm like, if these men have these kind of things, you don't get what
Nigerian pastors,
doing?
A lot of you are just misleading the young folk.
So Adejare says, may the Lord bless Sophia Odunlami, who started the Aladura revival in 1918. And I'm like, if those people could do the kind of things, the kind of things they could do, and you're not bragging about what you have, or the least you can do is not dragging these old men, like till tomorrow. And there are always things that these men have ever done.
Of all the people that you were going to try to belittle, it is Joseph Ayo Babalola.
What are we doing? Like, and I say this a lot.
What has come over you?
And I say this a lot. When I go to church, the amount of things that you can preach about for Christians, you would agree with me that there's so many stories in the Bible that you really can preach about Sunday, day in, day out, week in, week out, that you will not exhaust.
That message.
We didn't have.
How did he edify?
Like, how did we get to?
How did he edify your members?
Joseph Ayo Babalola, come on. Now.
Wait. The message that Biodun preached, how did he get his people closer to God? They are talking about money.
See, and I will say
this is money that everybody has and can have. But we're talking about salvation. We're talking about power. We're talking about spirituality.
Sir, the richest black man in the world is from Nigeria. He's not Christian.
He's not.
Are we going to say that, because of that, there are no Christians in Nigeria?
The one that follow him too.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? What are we doing?
But it's okay. Continue to mislead people until God himself decides to really come down. What are we
doing in this? Like, what are we doing? What's the point of church? What's the point of church?
I was watching a video. Another pastor was saying that God is going to compensate his people with the governorship of Lagos. This pastor is from the southeastern part of Nigeria. Compensate with the governorship of Lagos. What has that got to do with salvation? How did that become a religious topic? How did it become a biblical matter? How did it become a matter of Christianity?
If you're Yoruba, you understand the point where you see this here, you're like, Ibola to Jasi. Like, how did we get here?
Y'all don't like to hear the truth, This Baba, I like him a lot, and I just made a video. One of those older pastors.
Isaac Omolain.
Yeah, Baba Omolain. And he brought out a statistic about how, if you look at the top 10 richest pastors in the world, about 4 or 5 of them are Nigerians. But if you look at the top 10 richest churches in the world, how come the churches of those top 5 pastors are not amongst the top 5 richest churches in the world?
So Adejare B says the levels in life that you reach that you start to hate wealth. It also becomes a trap for your soul. Giving it away frees your soul. I'm not going to say that. He said something after. Sorry, but I'm not sure what to say that on air. And I think that we need to stop this nonsense. Is it a bad thing to have money? I think that
make your money.
Spend
your money.
There is a way that having money gives you. But
money
we're not
is not a measurement of spirituality or anointing or holiness or otherwise. Because if it's about money, there are a lot of people that have it that have never even heard about Jesus.
Yeah, let's stop this nonsense.
Never.
Let's just stop it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not looking good. Let me put it like that. It's definitely not looking good. We'll see what Pastor Fatoyinbo is going to say. Maybe he's going to refer. I think that there's a pastor that replied him
He
earlier.
will double down now.
That-
It's not him. He will double down.
I would also call on, take for example, I know that
if we had a country that
be,
works, some of these people will not even have a chance to
a
be talking.
spiritual son to someone like Bishop Oyedepo. I think that it is high time.
Oh, you're now saying what? When you made that video, how come? Please don't. Please.
I
please.
honestly think
Dolupo,
that
please.
at this point, because there are quite a number of these
Dolupo, please.
spiritual sons that they are really all about
Spiritual
prosperity. No, that's what they call themselves. Yeah, they call themselves sons of the prophet. So I think that it's high time, because it's actually looking bad on him that the people that you're supposed to mentor are saying this kind of nonsense. I think so. But what do I know? Anyway, moving on to another interesting controversy is matter of Mr. Charly Boy and the bus stop name change. So one would have thought that this matter had gone, and especially when he had come out to say, oh, it doesn't bother him, everybody should move on, 2027 is the goal, blah 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 and all that. Then a video popped up, was it yesterday, that he went to that bus stop with a couple of people and making videos. Oh, and it looked like, sir, you are pained, because what are you doing there?
How old is Charly Boy again?
I think it's about 72.
Yeah,
I think
man,
so.
Look, one thing that I must first talk about is how he has amazing genes and he's probably living a good life. Because
I also think there's a lot of Botox and a lot of
regardless,
stuff.
but 72 man looks good for a 72-year-old.
But that's why I said there's a lot of.
Can I just have my opinion?
Okay.
My opinion is man looks good for a 72, and that's where it ends. Is in the looking good, sir. Baba, at 72. Bus stop where you appropriate, they don't reappropriate them. They go there, go do video.
Because I'm like, okay,
at 72, you don't live around Bagada anymore.
What's the point of this video?
We know it's Abuja, Abi.
Yeah,
but even when you're in Lagos, do you
because
stay in Bagada?
Because you claim that you're not paying, but you are still
Baba,
there making
this
videos.
Thing pay you. This thing pay you. Because how you go? You drove all the way to a bus stop.
I'm making video there. You know,
wait. You drove to a bus stop, then you're now pointing, say, they have changed it.
You know the sad part. You know I would say sad. I would say the wicked part with the local government is that they changed it to a name that the people of Bariga could not contest. Why I said so is they changed it to Olamide's name, that we know that Olamide really, really embodies the spirit of Bariga.
You see that?
So
that Bariga,
it was really very difficult for any. You see that?
All that thing that you're saying is just you are talking is Ajebota movement. I swear, I won't even put Olamide. I'll biscuit bus stop, pure water bus stop. Like, sir, Uncle Daddy.
You said
Charly
it wasn't paying you. What's the video for?
If it don't matter, why are you going there every week? Now you're doing pilgrimage to bus stop.
Are you serious right now?
Pilgrimage to bus stop.
That's wrong on all
Is it a fact?
That's wrong on all levels.
Is it a fact? Is it a fact?
Yeah.
Every week,
You shouldn't say that. No,
Uncle makes a video from the bus stop. When they had not changed the name, it was like, they no fit change. They changed. I say, they say that Uncle, this is pay you. He pay you.
Move on.
You know what you can do though? The other side of the no, it won't work.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We're moving on.
Okay, you know, in between
don't do
phase
that.
1, Bagada phase 1 and Bado bus stop, can we create
Yeah, you're very,
the way you appropriate? Can you that UPS front? There's no bus stop there.
Please, excuse me.
Appropriate.
We're moving on. You're just.
Oh, but the thing paid Uncle.
You're just a
Uncle
wicked
Charly.
fellow at this point.
Uncle Charly Boy.
Anyway, moving on from
Uncle
that.
Charles.
Oh my God.
Bus stop monger.
A former lawmaker has come out to say that the ambassadorship that was given to Kwam would encourage misconduct at the airport. I know that the Minister of Aviation and the NCA had announced that he had now become an ambassador for airport security or something funny like that. This person is now saying that it is wrong.
Okay, let me say it like this. I still feel that the minimum punishment handed down should have been that 6 months, no fly, list for Kwam 1. I say that boldly. And I think that's what it should have gotten in the minimum. But reversing it and reversing the other lady's own and all of that and doing all of those things, yes, it starts to make people feel that, well, the law can be bent. You understand? So, but I also see a lot of ignorance. People say that Wasiu is being rewarded. This is not a reward. Is it that you people don't read me? So that it's not being paid.
You realize that it's kind of like humiliating him.
It's just a ceremonial.
It's actually kind of humiliating
thing. Like, if they really want to do it well, they should make him wear that yellow vest.
Yeah.
And serve maybe 1 hour every week for the next 8 weeks or something like that. Do you understand? He has to be on the tarmac saying, this way, don't do that, don't be angry. That's the only thing that will make me happy.
Yeah, I think so. But and I think that's the same thing they did with
you guys always trying to politicize it and say it was not rewarded though. You don't have reward. Do you know that people who you think have sense are saying that Wasiu was rewarded?
Oh God.
Wasiu was not rewarded.
Also, I think that happened with the lady, the Ibom Air lady as well. However, her lawyers come out to say that they're yet to decide if they're going to sue Ibom Air for harassment and all that.
Can I advise a lawyer?
Yeah.
I have very good advice. Sue Ibom Air. Sue the government. Please let me finish my advice.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm in the process of advising.
Okay, please go ahead.
It's not your advice.
Okay, please go ahead. Well,
sue the government. Sue Ibom Air. Sue the woman that stopped her from getting off the plane. Sue the one that you slapped. Oh, it's the same one. The guy that you kicked in the bus. Sue him for receiving your kick. Sister, go and watch those videos again. Even your own video. Everything that they did to you, which I feel is wrong, I feel you were treated badly, you also did worse. So you can't sue, because if you sue, remember you must come with open hands.
Equity with clean hands. You must come with equity, must demand equity, must come with equity. I think that as much as there could even be a conversation that you were provoked. But even in being provoked,
it's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse for the
breaking
videos that we saw, the assaults,
slapping people,
and I think
kicking people.
At this point, it makes it is at the end of the day, it makes it too fighting, as they will say. And so allegedly, I think you will put yourself in a very bad position.
Allegedly,
if you say
someone in Delta State is offering her a job for 500k a month.
Yes, a job as what?
All expense paid. Is it your own to determine? When she gets there, she will find out.
There's a way of us in this country how we reward bad behavior.
Next story.
Why would you know
see?
What? We don't have time
dear Miss Emmanson, I beg, enter house first. Cool your head down. No rush you. No let them use you.
Anyway, talking about controversy, Obasanjo Library is now demanding 3.5 billion naira damages and an apology from the EFCC, saying that there was a hotel invasion, that EFCC had come to arrest a few people at the hotel, and now they're saying that they had no right to do that, and they're demanding 3.5 billion naira damages.
It's about time someone took this up. A lot of people keep talking about these raids, and I just feel that they should do their job, but I think they should do it professionally also. So it's about time. Let's see what the court will even say.
I think that for us to also grow in this country, we really need to empower our judiciary. Also needs to work. So basically, more people should sue more people. There should be consequences for actions. So yeah,
man, we miss Ganify a lot.
Everybody should face the consequences of their action. Also, the police is now arresting church leaders, saying there's a video in Rivers State where church leaders were flogging a child.
And they will tell you it's a spiritual thing. They will tell you they're trying to exorcise the demon that is in that child.
You will now go and exorcise that demon in your
You guys will remember the story of a father that actually changed his own child because they said the child was evil.
Yeah.
somewhere in Ogun State.
Hey,
The other one that
that's why I
happened
said-
somewhere in Rivers or so.
I'm not saying those things don't happen. I'm saying that you will go to jail to learn that's not hard. It's not hard.
Once again,
Claiming spiritual cleansing, that spiritual cleansing, you will go to jail for it.
once again, I would like to ask you, what would Jesus do? What would he do?
Because people are just brainless. You are brainless. You will receive sense by force. It's a promise. You will receive sense by force. Anyway, the U.S. has approved sale of ammunition worth $346 million to Nigeria.
Yes, it's now up to Nigeria to meet up with that
pick up
target
with that.
based on the budget and everything. But this will go a long way to help our troops in their fight against insurgency.
Okay, now let's move on quickly and let's go through a bit of sports stories just before we go. Super Falcons players has not received the $100,000 as the captain has said.
Yeah, she was. There's a snippet of her on Today's podcast, and of course, she talked about how they've not received the money and how people are already helping them share it and apportion it. It's our thing. This entitlement is off the chain.
It's off the chain, yeah.
But their federal president of Nigeria,
please let the money
can you
back very soon.
Please, a lot is important.
Yeah,
and in the same quickly too for the Tigress.
The Tigress as well. Anyway, there is an Ibadan City Marathon that is happening. There's a 42-kilometer city marathon, and about 700 athletes are set to participate.
Yeah, it's been going on for years now. Big shout out to Splash FM. I think it's the same one. They pushed it for a while. Hopefully, they'll continue to do this.
It gets bigger.
We need more of this.
Alrighty. Kaduna State is set to begin the reconstruction of Ahmadu Bello Stadium. I think that I like the awareness that sports is getting. States putting a lot. I think I was in Abeokuta over the weekend, and the new stadium that had the NSF that they did
not a new stadium though.
No, the newly renovated stadium. It looked really beautiful. It was really nice. I hope that a lot of this infrastructure in different states can actually be done properly, and it will make their money back. And that's
we have cried and cried and cried, and looks like our cries are being heard now.
Finally. Anyway, FIFA, CAF, Super Eagles, everybody are now celebrating as Super Eagles legend JJ Okocha is 52 today.
It's 52. Shout out to you, bro. Happy 52nd birthday.
Yep. And on that note, that is all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.